COVID-19 or coronavirus disease is discovered in 2019. It's responsible for a global pandemic. COVID-19 is caused by a virus called SARS-CoV-2 or Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2 because it's genetically similar to the SARS coronavirus, which was responsible for the SARS outbreak in 2002. Now, coronaviruses that circulate among humans are typically benign, and they cause a quarter of all common cold illnesses. In COVID-19, what happened is that there were coronaviruses initially circulating among bats that initially started in China, and it spreads around the world. This is SARS-CoV-2. It belongs to the family of coronaviruses, named for crown-like spikes on their surfaces. SARS-CoV-2 can cause COVID-19, a contagious viral infection that attacks lungs and throats. What happens in your body when you contract the coronavirus? What exactly causes your body to develop pneumonia? And how would a vaccine work? The coronavirus must infect living cells. Let's have a closer look. Inside the virus, the genetic material contains the information to make more copies of itself. A protein shell provides a highly protective enclosure for the genetic material as the virus travels between people it infects. An outer envelope allows the virus to infect cells by merging with the cell's outer membrane. Projecting from the envelopes are the spikes of protein molecules. Both a typical influenza virus and the new coronavirus use their spikes like a key to get inside your cell, where it takes over its internal machinery, repurposing it to build the components of a new virus. When an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes, droplets carrying the virus may land into your mouth or nose, then moves into your lungs. Once inside your body, the virus comes into contact with cells in your throat, nose, or lungs. One spike on the virus inserts into a receptor molecule on your healthy cell membrane like a key in a lock. This action allows the virus to get inside your cell. A typical flu virus would travel inside a sac made from your cell membrane to your cell's nucleus, where your cell houses all the genetic information. The coronavirus doesn't need to enter the host cell nucleus. It can directly access parts of the host cell called ribosomes. Ribosomes use genetic information from the virus to make viral proteins, such as the spikes on the virus surface, a packaging structure in your cell that carries the spikes in vesicles which merge with your cell's outer layer, the cell membrane. All parts needed to create a new virus. Just beneath your cell. How can you develop pneumonia symptoms? If your immune system is weakened, like in the case of coronavirus infection, the virus can overwhelm your immune cells, and your bronchioles and alveoli become inflamed. Your immune system attacks the multiplying viruses. The inflammation can cause your alveoli to fill with fluid, making it so difficult for your body to get the oxygen it needs. You could have lobar pneumonia, which one lobe of your lungs get infected, or you could have bronchopneumonia. Pneumonia can cause difficulty breathing, chest pain, coughing, fever and chills, confusion, headache, muscle pain, and fatigue. It also leads to more serious complications. Respiratory failure occurs when your breathing becomes so difficult that need a machine called a ventilator that help you to breathe. These are the machines that save lives, and medical devices ramp up the production for. Now, in the terms of mortality, the data shows that COVID-19 mortality rates differ by group. For example, if you split things out by age, you can see from this table that the fatality rate is relatively low if you are below 60 with no deaths seen in children and younger. But then it starts to really climb up for elderly, so they are really the ones at highest risk. Similarly, fatality rate is higher for those with hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and cancer. On the other hand, for pregnant women, the data shows that they are like healthy pregnant people, are not at high risk for developing serious diseases. And the data shows that there haven't been reported cases for intrauterine transmission of COVID-19. The virus also wasn't detected in breast milk of small group of mothers with COVID-19. Overall, based on the current data, over 80% of patients with COVID-19 have a mild infection, and some people do not develop any symptoms at all. For others, they can develop mild symptoms like fever, cough, shortness of breath, and others like fatigue, loss of smell, taste, and pneumonia. In addition to causing disease, coronavirus can spread quickly. It's increasingly clear that a lot of spread is occurring through pre-symptomatic people that are in incubation period, many of whom are not at high risk of the virus. It also spreads from those with symptoms like people when they cough or sneeze, and the tiny droplets containing the virus are released. These droplets can land to another person's mouth, nose, or eyes, and that allows the virus to enter a new person. Coronavirus doesn't usually spread over long distance on the air, but they can get flung from one person to another through tiny droplets of saliva. In addition, SARS-CoV-2 can also survive on surfaces. It can survive up to 8 hours on latex and aluminum, up to 24 hours on cardboards, up to 3 days on countertops, plastic and stainless steel, up to 5 days on wood and glass. So make sure you clean and sterilize frequently touched surfaces like phones, keyboards, door handles, and toilet seats with alcohol-based wipes. To confirm a diagnosis, a RT-PCR, which detects very small amount of viral RNA, it's worth monitoring, but it often misses the infection altogether, so it's not very sensitive. If severe pulmonary disease is suspected, a chest CT can be done to help to detect the presence of viral pneumonia. Next, rapid testing methods for coronavirus can also used for detecting the viral RNA. The other is rapid serological testing, which can detect the previous infection and look for other causes to do quick flu test and respiratory viral panel. Within weeks of the world learning about the Wuhan outbreak, Chinese scientists uploaded the novel coronavirus genetic sequence to a public database. That allowed teams around the world to start designing a vaccine. Traditional methods require an actual sample of the virus. Typically, scientists inactivate a virus using special chemicals before it's put into a vaccine. When an inactivated or weakened virus is injected into the body, the immune system recognizes it as antigen or invader. Vaccines use antigen to prime the body to protect against a particular virus. But vaccines developed with rapid response platform work differently. Rather than directly injecting antigen into the body, these types of vaccines typically send instructions to cell in the body. It gets the cell to produce antigen proteins that are specific to the virus it's designed to defeat. These instructions are in the form of RNA or DNA, the molecules that contain the code for protein building. Because they don't have to grow the whole virus. Plus, one scientist identify and create the instructions. Vaccine trial take place over 4 phases. Phase 1. A small group of adult volunteers are injected with the vaccine to determine its safety and whether it exhibits the desired immune responses. Subjects will be monitored for several months to a year for side effects. This is phase that corona vaccines are currently at. Phase 2. A larger group of usually several hundred adults participate in the testing. Some of people may belong to groups at risk of contracting the virus. Researchers and scientists will measure the immune system responses, vaccination safety and propose doses and validate methods of delivery. This phase usually takes several months, even up to 2 years. Phase 3. The vaccine is trialed on tens of thousands of people to test for the side effects that may not occur in smaller sample sizes. Vaccine efficacy is tested as well, which looks for whether they prevent infection and stimulate appropriate immune responses. This can take years, and only after this, a vaccine developer applies for a license. Phase 4. The phase is conducted by vaccine developer after the product is released. They have a responsibility to continue monitoring vaccine efficacy and pull it from the market if it's no longer effective, or create updated versions to account for mutations. You may be young or old. You may be young or old, but you must be bold against the enemy I'm told. You cannot go to malls, nor can you go to waterfalls, because this virus is scaring, sending our spines into a shivering. If you have to go out, think twice. Wear your mask, be wise, and don't forget to wash your hands.